Alrighty, folks. This is the Ethical Society Jazz Band of St. Louis. For those of you on the stream, for some of our free platform music, we'll play some jazz before our 3 songs play for you today. This is Andy Orbit on drums, Sandy Sansing on bass, Kyle Newhouse on guitar, I am Sean O'Hara on trumpet, and we are about to play a blue ball setup for you folks.
Good morning, everyone. This is your official invitation to come on into the auditorium. We're going to get started in about a minute or two. Good morning, everyone. My name is Samantha White. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. Along with those joining us in person today, we have virtual visitors streaming from across the country as well. I'd like to offer a special welcome to our online audience today. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're especially glad to welcome those joining us from across the country for today's celebration of 150 years of the ethical culture movement. Whether you are here in St. Louis, watching online from your local ethical society, or joining us on your own from home, we're grateful you're a part of this shared experience today. The Ethical Society of St. Louis is an ethical humanist congregation where people come together to think deeply, take action, and grow together. For 150 years, ethical culture communities have worked to build spaces rooted in human dignity, ethical action, free inquiry, and mutual care. This morning's platform is both a celebration of that history and an invitation to imagine what comes next. Throughout today's program, people joining us both in person and online will have opportunities to participate through interactive questions and reflections. We invite you to add your voice as we explore not only where this movement has been, but how we continue building ethical communities for the future. As we begin today, please take a moment to silence your devices, settle into the space, and prepare to share this morning together. I'm going to invite Claire Alexander, Executive Director of Community Experience, to the stage.
Hello, good morning. Now, while you have your phones out, we are going to have some fun with them. Ooh. So, if you have a smart device with you of some kind, I'm going to invite you to interact with each other and with our friends joining from across the nation today. If you haven't already, I'm going to invite you to join us on Mentimeter by scanning the QR code here on the screen. As part of today's 150th anniversary celebration, we want to create opportunities for people joining us both in person and online to participate together through this morning's platform. To begin, we would love to learn a little bit more about who is gathered with us today. We started by allowing some people to show us where they're tuning in from across the nation, and you can see lots of people are joining us right now at the moment. Ooh. We did have our pre-show viewers, so the AEU has been with many people from across the nation online already for the previous hour, and they are just popping in right now. You see that last number is climbing. And you see people popping in from all over. Yay! Okay, I'm going to stall for just a little bit because this is so exciting, is it not? Wow. Should we do this every Sunday? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have 5 opportunities to interact with our viewers from across the nation today. And this is just the first one, but it's also the most colorful, so enjoy it while it's here. Okay, we will still have people joining us from, okay, sorry, I have to take a picture of this. Have fun. Aww. Lance, are you getting this for the Facebook? Okay, cool. Bear, will you take us to the next slide, please? Okay, I have a new question for you, and as people are joining us on the stream, they can also grab that QR code and answer the question as well. On your smart device, please respond to this question. How long have you been connected to ethical culture or humanism? As responses begin coming in, oh, and here they are, I'll explain how we use this interactive tool throughout the morning. You're going to see QR codes for every question as they pop up on the screen. If you'd like to participate, you simply scan that QR code with your phone or other mobile device, some kind of smart thing that you can hold and interact with. Wait. It's got to be a device. And respond with a prompt through Mentimeter. Once you're connected, just stay connected to that Mentimeter on your second device. We'll continue using it for reflections and interactive moments throughout the service for different opportunities. You'll also be able to explore responses from others on the screen and reflect more deeply across communities, generations, and geography as we share the experience together. Some questions will invite quick responses, and others will give us space to reflect together as a national ethical culture community. As someone who has been connected to humanism, specifically secular humanism, for about 15 years, it's really enheartening for me to see the 16 plus years growing. To know we stand on the shoulders of giants. It's wonderful to see such a wide range of experience represented here today, both in the room and on the screen. It's wonderful, and from people who are brand new to this movement and those who have spent decades helping shape it. However long you've been part of the story, we're glad you're here today. Let's give some applause to ourselves and our friends on the stream.
Thank you so much, Claire. I'm excited to connect with our ethical family across the nation today. It's my honor to introduce our musical guest today. The Ethical Band is a member-led group made up of musicians from within our own community. One of the things that makes our society and others around the nation so special is that much of what happens here is created by the people within the room. Thank you to all of the incredible people on this stage, the people in our auditorium, and those watching online for sharing your time, talents, creativity, and care to help build our community together. If you are here in the auditorium and think you might need some earplugs because the band rocks out, they're on the welcome table, grab some. To begin our celebration this morning, the Ethical Band will perform Find Your People by Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors, a song about connection, belonging, and the people who help us feel less alone in the world. As the Ethical Band plays their first song, I invite those participating through the Mentimeter to reflect on this question: what first brought you to ethical culture or humanism? You can continue responding and exploring others' answers during the music and wait until you see the next prompt to appear on your screen. Now, please join me in welcoming the Ethical Band.
To make you feel whole, they won't leave your side when you lose control. The ones that don't let you lose your soul. You gotta find your people, the ones that get the joke, who understand what you're saying before a word is spoke. You gotta find your people, put the needle in the groove. When you're together, you got nothing to prove. When you're together, you got nothing to lose. In a world full of strangers you don't know to trust, all you see is danger, trying to find what you lost. You can't go it alone, everybody needs help. You gotta find your people, then you find yourself. You gotta find your people that'll call your bluff, who ride along when the road is rough. You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel equal. They pick you up, they don't put you down. Help you find your way in the lost and found. In a world full of strangers you don't know to trust, all you see is danger, trying to find what you lost. You can't go it alone, everybody needs help. You gotta find your people, then you find yourself. The ones that understand you, the ones that lend a hand to you, the ones that don't demand anything from you. You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel alright. They tell you the truth and wish you well. You gotta find your people, then you find yourself. You gotta find your people, then you find yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm always so grateful to share the stage with you, and with a banjo today, it makes me extra happy. Okay, as responses continue coming in from across the country, it's really moving to see how many different paths brought people into ethical culture and humanism. Through community, questioning, justice, friendship, family, and the search for meaning and belonging. However people arrived here, it's clear that many of us were looking for spaces where we could grow, connect, and build something meaningful together. Each week, we read our youth education core values as a way to bring us together and remind us of our shared commitments. Our youth programs are on summer break at the moment, so I'm honored to channel my inner youth and share our core values. Actually, no, apparently I'm going to invite Lorelei Nienhaus to the stage because she's here with us today.
Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I'm a part of this earth. I cherish it and all the life upon it. I learn from the world around me by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I am a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what I believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions. I strive to live my values.
Thank you, Lorelei. I'm grateful you were here because it's so much better when it comes from the youth in our community. And these values remind us that community members of all ages help make this a special place to learn and grow together. Our band's next musical selection is We Are Here by Alicia Keys, a song about showing up for one another and staying engaged in the work of building a better future together. Every generation wrestles with what matters most. Hold on. They wrestle with what matters most and what values are worth passing forward. As we listen, we invite those participating through Mentimeter to reflect on this question: what ethical humanist value is worth carrying in to the next 150 years? As you share your response, don't forget to check out what others are saying in Mentimeter and interact by liking others' responses. Now, let's welcome back the Ethical Band for We Are Here by Alicia Keys.
so that we can love each other, brother. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here. No guns made in Harlem, but yet crime is a problem. You wanna shine, they wanna rob them. Sing them all where they come from. How are we gonna save the nation with no support for education? 'Cause right now it don't make sense. Right now it don't make sense. Let's talk about our part. My heart touch your heart. Let's talk about living. Had enough of dying. Know what we all about. Let's do more giving. Do more forgiving. Yeah, our souls are brought together so that we can love each other, sister. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here.
Thank you again. So fantastic. As people continue reflecting on the future of this movement, some of the values appearing most often are inquiry, justice, and community. It's powerful to see those commitments emerging from people joining us from across the country today. Before our main address, let's pause and reset our attention. Allow your body to release any tension you may be holding and give your mind permission to set aside what can wait as we share one silent minute to prepare ourselves to listen clearly and reflect thoughtfully. Thank you for sharing that minute with each other. Today, we welcome Louise Jett. Louise is a communicator, designer, strategist, and American Ethical Union certified leader whose work helps bring ethical culture's values into public life through storytelling, creativity, and community building. Her background spans journalism, photography, graphic design, education, and digital media, but at the center of all of her work is a deep belief in human connection and the power of people coming together in support of one another. Louise has helped shape how many people across the country experience and engage with ethical culture today, helping communities tell their stories with clarity, warmth, and purpose. Louise invites us to reflect not only on where we've been, but on the kind of ethical communities we can build together. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome Louise Jett.
Thank you so much, Samantha. And everyone else, that last song really choked me up. The band sounds awesome as usual, and Lorelai's core values, and Claire, the interactivity. Good morning. My name is Louise Jett, and my pronouns are she and her. And what a gift it is to be with you here today, and to know that as we gather, friends across the country are gathering with us, watching, celebrating the same milestone. That feels like the right way to mark this anniversary, because ethical culture has never been something we do alone. There are anniversaries that ask us to look backward, and there are anniversaries that ask us to look around. The 150th anniversary of ethical culture asks us to do both. It invites us to honor the courage of those who first imagined a movement rooted in ethics, human dignity, reason, and service. It also asks us to notice the world where we are living in right now. Anxious, divided, searching, grieving, changing. A world in need of people willing to practice goodness out loud. Late ethical culture leader Jerome Nathanson once wrote, "The price of the democratic way of life is a growing appreciation of people's differences, not merely as tolerable, but as the essence of a rich and rewarding human experience." A century and a half into this movement, that feels less like a historical reflection and more like a living assignment. I want to tell you about a morning in this society years ago that I've never forgotten. I was sitting here with some of you who are here right now, watching our former leader, Kate Lovelady, give a platform talk about taking things one step at a time. As she spoke, she had a tall stack of paper on the podium. And while she talked, she moved the stack one page at a time until she completely transferred it to the other side of the podium. One page, then the next, then the next. It was slow. It was almost funny, and I think some people did laugh because it was just so methodical and slow. But by the end of her talk, the whole stack had crossed to the other side of the podium. I have carried that image with me for years. When the work of the world, the work of ethical humanism, feels impossible, when it feels too demanding or too complicated, I remember that stack of paper, one page, and then the next. And that is ethical culture to me. Not a grand arrival, but a practice, a patience, a refusal to be frozen by how much there is to do. For me, ethical culture has never felt like a relic in a museum. It has never been only a set of historical ideas or names from the past, though I treasure those too. Ethical culture feels alive for me because it keeps asking the most human questions. How do we live together? How do we bring out the best in one another? How do we build communities where dignity is not just discussed, but also practiced? How do we turn our values into action when the world feels too cruel and too complicated. I didn't always have the language for this. I came to ethical culture the long way around. I was a deeply religious kid in a family of atheists, the youngest due-paying member of my little Baptist church, because that's how you rebel when your parents are atheists. I was belting out hymns and asking lots of questions, mostly about dinosaurs. And eventually, as a curious 14-year-old, I became a member of the Pentecostal church that was close to my house. A church where I was eventually asked to leave by the preacher in mid-service for giggling with a toddler. No one stood up for me. I was 14. I know I'm not the only one in this room who has been hurt by a community that was supposed to hold them. It took me years to understand that what broke that day wasn't my faith in goodness. It was my faith in a community that had stopped practicing it. I realized that I was looking for was a place where dignity wasn't theoretical, where questions were honored, where belonging didn't depend on agreement. I just didn't know it had a name yet. When Felix Adler founded Ethical Culture in 1876, he offered a bold idea that people do not need to agree on theology in order to come together around ethical living. He taught that what matters most is not what we profess or what we believe, but what we do and how we treat each other. He asked us to take seriously the responsibilities we hold toward one another. He believed that goodness can be cultivated through relationship, education, service, and a shared commitment. A century and a half later, that vision still feels radical. In a time when so much public life rewards certainty, outrage, and division, ethical culture asks for something braver. It asks us to remain open, to think deeply, to care actively, to tell the truth without surrendering tenderness, to build communities where disagreement does not erase belonging, to practice ethics as a daily discipline and not an abstract ideal, to tell the truth without surrendering tenderness. It's harder than it sounds, and it sounds pretty hard. It is also, I think, the work that keeps drawing me in. Ethical culture taught me that deed before creed is more than a phrase. It's a way of orienting yourself toward the world. Our lives are the argument we make about what matters. The shared meal, the hard conversation, the child welcomed in, the person seen more fully than they expected to be. This is the scripture of a movement that doesn't have one. That is why this anniversary feels so meaningful for me. We are celebrating 150 years of a movement that has kept trying, kept adapting, kept gathering people around the possibility that human beings can be more compassionate, more courageous, and more responsible together than we often manage alone. And yes, ethical culture has always been imperfect because it has always been human. Our histories include aspiration and failure, imagination and progress, and unfinished work. To love a movement honestly is to be willing to tell the whole truth about it. The beauty of ethical culture is not that it has arrived. The beauty is that it keeps becoming. The Ethical Society of St. Louis is a part of that becoming. One bright point in a living constellation of humanist communities across generations, carried by people who believe ethical life is something we practice in relationship. Societies like this one give the movement its heartbeat. We gather, learn, question, organize, remember, repair, celebrate, and do it all over again. Adler saw this from the start. He wrote that the moral order never is, but is ever becoming. It grows with our growth. 150 years later, we're still growing. This anniversary is a moment of gratitude, but it also is a challenge. It asks what ethical culture looks like now. It asks who needs this movement today. It asks how we carry forward a tradition without merely preserving it behind glass. Because there are people who are looking for exactly this, even if they don't know its name yet. People looking for community without dogma, people looking for justice rooted in love, people looking for a way to live their values with others. Ethical culture is that place. At 150, we're still here. That alone is worth celebrating. But even more than endurance, I want to celebrate possibility. The possibility that this movement still has something vital to offer. The possibility that our gatherings can become sources of courage. The possibility that our words can become deeds. The possibility that we can keep growing the good together as agents of change. May this anniversary remind us that we inherit more than a history. We inherit a responsibility. We inherit the work of tending human dignity, of widening belonging, of practicing justice with compassion, and becoming more ethical together. 150 years later, ethical culture is still asking the right questions, and we are still answering with the way we live our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. I answered inspiration as one of the things that brought me here, and that is what you do, so thank you. Thank you also for helping us reflect on the history of the ethical culture movement and the communities we continue building together today. To ground our learning today in lived experience, we will hear from the Ethical Society of St. Louis Board President, Clark Hoteling. Please join me in welcoming Clark to the stage.
Not quite sure why they switched up the order. I wish I had gone before Louise. Good morning and good afternoon to everybody on the East Coast. I'm Clark Hoteling, and 11 days ago I became president of the Ethical Society Board of Trustees. I'm told we have the largest membership, 321, of all ethical societies. In September of this year, I will be celebrating my 3rd anniversary as a member. You heard that correctly. I haven't been a member 3 years yet, and here I am, president of the Board of Trustees of the largest ethical society in the world. What does that say? Either the membership is crazy, desperate, or a little bit of both. But seriously, we need more members and more active members. We need to grow. That should be the goal of all ethical societies. I understand the question of why we aren't growing is not a new one. However, I believe the world will be more just, more kind, more helpful, more accepting place, with more societies and more members. We need to figure out how to grow with sustainable, long-term solutions. Wouldn't the world be a better place if we had more people striving to live the values we profess and shared today that we want to carry forward? How did I get here? Let me give you a brief snapshot of my journey. I grew up in Yellow Springs, Ohio, probably the very best town in the nation to grow up in, home of Antioch College. My parents were both originally New Yorkers and did not belong to any organized religion. Their families had been burned by organized religion, and they considered themselves humanists. They certainly lived and taught the values, but they did not belong to a humanist community. In fact, they wanted all their children, all four of us, to find our own spiritual paths, which we all did. Not growing up in a religious community left me naive about the positive aspects of religious communities. I was cynical and, quite frankly, a snob. I didn't understand the true value of congregational life. And then I met, fell in love, and married my wife of nearly 42 years. Mary Jane was a cradle Episcopalian, but taking a break during college and immediate post-college years. We moved to Cincinnati in the early 90s, and she became involved in our local parish, and I started attending. I really enjoyed it, but had earmuffs on during all that God talk. And then our first son was born and baptized, and then our second son was born, and I got baptized with him. Shortly after that, we moved to St. Louis, and I was received and confirmed into the church and became a very active member of the congregation for over 20 years. I loved the community, the projects, made so many friends. Everything was perfect, except that stuff I just didn't believe, and that really is why most people gathered. Then there was a major kerfuffle, and several of us left the church. Guess who I found? The Ethical Society of St. Louis. Everything here was great, similar to the Episcopal Church, except for that part I just didn't believe. I dated here for about 8 months and then applied for membership and immediately plugged myself into things that bring me joy and let me strive to live my values, continual lifelong learning, deepening relationships with good people, working together to make a positive impact on the world, honoring traditions while at the same time embracing change. Change can be a stretch for many of us. However, in the words of master inventor Charles Kettering, the world hates change, yet it is the only thing that has brought progress. Why am I here? Today's platform and celebration is why. Everything I want in a community: great music, great values, great humans, tremendous inspiration and learning. Louise, your message is really why I'm here. You people are why I'm here. I've really enjoyed participating in the AEU's President's Council, sharing what we are all doing, sharing best practices, striving to be better. Our goal should be 100% about growth, how we are growing our hearts and our minds and ourselves, how we are growing our deeds, and how we are growing our memberships. I'll be in New York City in July for the AEU Assembly, celebrating 150 years of ethical culture. I look forward to meeting many of you in person. We need to invest in this movement. The world needs more people like us. Thank you all. And I'm happy to celebrate my 65th birthday with all of you. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Clark. And thank you for sharing your story with us this morning. At the Ethical Society of St. Louis, our mission shapes everything we do, from Sunday platforms to youth programs, music, service, and partnerships in the wider community. Our work is sustained through the generosity of our members and friends. The collection baskets and the QR code on the screen are simple ways to engage in financial support. Every contribution helps bring our missions to life. Our welcome team will now take up a collection to support programs to help us think deeply, take action, and grow together. If you'd like to stay connected to our community, we invite you to subscribe to our weekly newsletter for updates on upcoming programs, service opportunities, and ways to get involved. The Ethical Band's final song, Fleetwood Mac's Don't Stop, reminds us that ethical progress is ongoing work. Every generation inherits unfinished challenges, but also new opportunities to care for one another, build community, and move the world a little closer towards justice and human dignity. We invite those participating through Mentimeter to reflect one final time. Complete this sentence. The next chapter of ethical culture begins when we. Please welcome back to the stage a final time, the Ethical Band.
So while we're getting set up here, I'll just introduce everybody on the stage. Go through it real quick. On guitars, we have Sean O'Hara, Eric Ray, Kyle Nienhaus, and Sandy Sansing. Our vocalists today are Crystal White, Nikki Nienhaus, and myself, Eric Compton. Our drummer and thunder god over there is Andy Orahood. And a special thanks today for Mike Engelhardt, our musical director here at the Ethical Society, for standing in with today and playing piano. Thank you. If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes, look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. Why not think about time to go and not about things that you've done? If your life was bad to you, well, just think what tomorrow will do. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone.
much joy. Thank you to the Ethical Band for sharing your music and energy with us this morning. It always brings me such pleasure to share the stage with such fabulous musician and fabulous messaging. Thank you to Clark for grounding today in personal reflection and community vision and a birthday celebration. And thank you to Louise Jett for helping us reflect on the history of the ethical culture movement and the responsibility we share in shaping its future. For 150 years, ethical culture communities have gathered to support one another, ask difficult questions, work towards justice, and affirm the dignity and worth of every person. We're grateful to everyone joining us from across the country today. Whether you participated from a congregation, a living room, or somewhere in between, thank you for being part of this shared celebration. As you move into the week ahead, may you continue building communities of compassion, courage, curiosity, and ethical action wherever you go. To our online viewers and guests from around the country, thank you for celebrating with us today. We're grateful you joined us for this shared platform experience. This concludes today's live stream. For those with us here in St. Louis, please stay with us for a few extra minutes for local announcements before we head downstairs for coffee and conversations. Thank you for being here this morning, and happy 150th anniversary to the ethical culture movement. And now for some St. Louis announcements. You knew you weren't going to get away without announcements. The Leader Search Task Force and the Board of Trustees are pleased to announce the Ethical Society of St. Louis leader candidate, Reverend J. Exodus Hooper, PhD. Dr. Hooper is an ethical culture leader, public theologian, and arts and culture curator whose work has supported ethical culture and humanist communities across the country. Members will have several opportunities to meet and engage with Dr. Hooper in the coming weeks. Please mark your calendar for two important dates. You go ahead and pull your phones out if you don't already have this in your calendar. Sunday, June 21st, for a forum conversation with the Leader Search Task Force and Board of Trustees about the search process and next steps. And then Sunday, June 28th, for a platform featuring Dr. Hooper, followed immediately by a special membership meeting where members will vote on whether to hire Dr. Hooper as the next leader of the Ethical Society of St. Louis. All members are strongly encouraged to attend. The American Ethical Union's Apportionment Redesign Task Force will host 2 upcoming listening sessions to share updates on its work and gather feedback from across the ethical culture movement. All Ethical Society members are invited to participate. The sessions will take place on Wednesdays, June 3rd and 10th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find registration links in the Ethical Society Facebook group and in next week's Connection newsletter. At the 2026 annual meeting, members voted to approve the proposed budget and elect new members of the Board of Trustees. All ballot items passed. Congratulations to new trustees Judy Lohaus, Lindsay Seibold, and Crystal White, and to continuing trustee Kathy Schrank. They join Larry Dorison, Clark Hotelling, and Mary Ann Perkins as the new Ethical Society of St. Louis Board of Trustees. We also want to express deep gratitude to outgoing trustees Christine Polite, myself, and Scott Wright for their years of service and leadership in our community. It felt a little awkward to do that, but thank you, Christine and Scott. Okay, this concludes our announcements for today, but we had some big ones. I hope that you actually pulled your calendar out so you could take note of them. As we conclude today's platform, we invite you downstairs for coffee and conversation, and it looked like there was still some treats from the breakfast too. There are stairwells on either side of the building and an elevator on the west side. You can learn more about our community at the visitors table downstairs or explore humanism and ethics by borrowing from our Linden Library. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you leave feeling more connected to others across land and time. See you again soon.